Hello,
Hello everyone. Good evening. How are
good
you?
evening. Fine, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good
Good
evening. How are
evening.
you doing?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, all.
Hello,
Yeah,
good evening.
good.
Good
Good evening.
evening.
Good
Great.
evening,
Great.
sir.
Great. So let us start today's session, which is as part of the 1 week learning. So today we'll be learning about a few important aspects which are about compliance requirements. So probably not really compliance, I would say, but some sort of important framework. Rather, I would say framework, some global bodies which define some sort of targets, kind of thing. So let us understand them. So to proceed further, even before I share the first slide, I would like to understand if somebody does know about Paris Agreement. So straight away I'm jumping on the topic because we already have waited for about 7-8 minutes. So straight away I'm jumping onto the topic. Now the question is, does anybody know? Do you have any idea about a topic called Paris Agreement? Anybody? What is Paris Agreement?
Yes, the Paris Agreement is about
Yes,
cutting the this one emissions, greenhouse effect emissions significantly. So, so there are certain targets
Mm,
given to the countries. So those targets has to be achieved.
that is one objective, of course, but that is very common in nature, whatever you have said. If that is that much common, then I'm sure this Paris Agreement would not be having this kind of significance today. What exactly is that?
sir, the Paris Agreement
Reducing the temperature,
was
reducing the
It is
temperature
about
from 2
it is about
degrees
keeping the
Celsius to 1.5 degrees
Guys, if you
Celsius.
don't mind, let's go one by one. Yeah,
it's
Chintan,
it's about
Sandeepa Lahariji. You try to speak twice. Probably you can go. Sandeepa Lahariji.
yes, sir. So Paris Agreement was in the year 2050 when all the countries through over the globe have connected uh, and uh, 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 and it was based on the concern where the global temperature is rising, and it was decided through ratification by 196 countries that the global temperature should be contained within 1.5 degrees centigrade, and for that all the countries need to come and frame a target for each of the countries to reduce their emission GHG emissions so as to uh, contain the or control the global warming and keep it within 1.5 degree. So the rise, the global temperature rise should not go beyond 1.5 degree
Okay. Okay.
centigrade.
Okay. Satyantan ji. Satyantan ji. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrongly. I'm sorry, but yeah. Saying something?
hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Ji.
Saying something? Okay.
हाँ, may I go
Gurdarshan,
ahead?
Gurdarshan ji.
Yeah, yeah. So as Sandeepa had stated, partly it is that also at the same time I think there was some nationally determined contributions also had to be declared, or that those targets have to be regularly updated. So
Okay.
that is also part of the Paris Agreement.
Okay. Chintaya ji.
Yeah, yes, sir. So global emission to be reduced the 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2030 and no zero emissions by 2050. So actually, we are breached the 1.5 degrees Celsius the emission. So almost we are reached to 2 degrees, but we need to control. We need to reduce 1.5 degrees.
Okay.
Sir, one more thing was there in the Paris Agreement was the Conference of Parties,
Okay.
and
Cool.
where the, all the all the countries came up, and now we can see that every year this COP meeting is held in one or other region where the countries come together and verify and evaluate the GHG emissions and the action plan target
Right.
actions.
Okay. So most of the answers have come, which are in line with the Paris Agreement objectives. Hello, if you're not speaking, keep yourself on mute, please. Whoever it is, if you're not speaking, let's have us on mute. Let us not disturb the class. I'm sorry to say. Yeah. Cool. In line with Paris Agreement, most of the statements which have come now from three, four different individuals are in line with Paris Agreement statement, but that is not the exact statement. So we need to understand the context of reduction of emissions in line with temperature. So the objective that you gave us, as per your statements, is absolutely right in one context, which is reduction of emissions. That's absolutely right. However, the other context, which is 1.5 degrees centigrade, the number is right, but 1.5 degrees centigrade of what? The actual base is something which is missing. So if you really understand Paris Agreement, this agreement says that by 2050, somebody said 2030, but that is not the year. By 2050, we have to keep our average temperature rise below 1.5 degrees centigrade. Please understand this statement. We have to keep or we have to maintain our average temperature rise below 1.5 degrees centigrade by 2050 of what? 1.5 degrees centigrade of what? Pre-industrialization average temperature, which is about 150 to 200 years ago. About 150 to 200 years ago, whatever was the average temperature, with respect to that average temperature, by 2050, as nations, as globe, it is not just one nation, as nations, as globe, every nation has to be counted. As globe, we have to reduce our emissions, temperature, or we have to limit our temperature rise, by 1.5 degrees centigrade. When we say temperature rise, average temperature rise by 1.5 degrees centigrade with respect to pre-industrialization temperature. I mean, pre-industrialization average temperature, right? So, for example, about 150 to 200 years ago, when the era of pre-industrialization, let's say the average temperature was, let's say 20 degrees centigrade, let's say 35 degrees centigrade, little on the practical track. If it was 35 degrees centigrade, then by 2050, the average temperature shall not be more than 36.5 degrees centigrade. If the average temperature was 40 degrees centigrade, then by 2050, the average temperature shall not be more than 41.5 degrees centigrade. That is the objective. This is one objective of Paris Agreement. The second objective is 2 degrees centigrade. The rest everything is common. With respect to average pre-industrial average temperature, the average temperature rise by 2100 year. The average temperature rise shall not be more than 2 degrees centigrade, which means if we had 45 degrees, let's say 40 degrees temperature, average temperature, 38 degrees average temperature, let's say, by 2100, the average temperature rise shall not be more, average temperature shall not be more than 40 degrees centigrade. It was 38 degrees. Now by 2100, it shall not be more than 40 degrees centigrade. Because as per the Paris Agreement, it is expected, it is decided by different nations in one of the conference of parties, like somebody was mentioning, that by 2050, let us limit our average temperature rise by 1.5 degrees centigrade by 2050 with respect to pre-industrialized average temperature, and 2 degrees centigrade by 2100 with respect to pre-industrialized average temperature. That is Paris Agreement. Now, somebody was mentioning that Conference of Parties is part of Paris Agreement. No, in one of the Conference of Parties, Paris Agreement was made. Now, the integral part of Paris Agreement is NDC, Nationally Determined Contributions. Every nation has their targets to contribute towards maintaining or keeping our average temperature rise by 1.5 degrees centigrade by 2050. As a nation, India, as a nation, let's say Sri Lanka, as a nation, let's say US, as a nation, let's say let's say Australia, we have to contribute to keep our average temperature within 1.5 degrees centigrade rise by 2050 with respect to pre-industrialized average temperature, for which every nation will have to have some targets where, as a nation India, we will be contributing to achieve this goal, because as a nation India, we will never be able to achieve this target because India is not only the nation across globe. Probably India would be contributing somewhere near 10% of the entire globe because of its area in terms of land, but otherwise maybe in terms of emissions that we are emitting, maybe 10%, maybe 15%. So with this 10% or 15% contribution, we will not be able to contribute to achieve this, will not be able to achieve this target. Rather, we can contribute to achieve this target with the support of other nations, with the support of coalitions, right? This is the context. Chintaya ji, you raised
Sir,
your hand.
what is NDC, sir?
We will
NDC?
discuss. Nationally determined contributions, we will discuss. That is
Sir,
something which is the agenda for today.
yeah, a small clarification required here. The Paris Agreement came into the force in 2015, right? So that time they have took a decision, and it is going to implementing by all the nations. Now
Right.
we are at 2025. This agreement is reviewing every year, or what is the base for that? So every this timeline is frequently changing. So how it will be reviewed, and who will the authority to review and announce to the at a global level?
Okay. So since it is an agreement which is made by nations where there is no legally binding pact. Since Conference of Parties is a coalition or an event which is conducted to speak, to discuss, to try to limit our emissions, which we are emitting into atmosphere by different nations. Otherwise, there is no legally binding pact here. Now, to answer your question, sir, since it is a commonly agreed objective or commonly agreed target that nations are wanting to contribute to this, so that the different species, different races, when I say races, not the human race or something, which I mean to say a species or let's say trees, a race of trees, something like that. So they can live, they can have their harmony in place. However, there is no such body which is actually monitoring it with a legally binding document or with a solid requirement. However, every year, during this Conference of Parties, this topic will be discussed, saying that today we are not able to achieve the target as per required objectives, or we are still lagging behind. Whatever discussions do take. And the other part of your question, so where are we today? As part of this target, this is about 10 years now. Once this target is set, from the date when this target is set. So in this 1 year time, in this 10 years time, have we really contributed to achieve this? If you ask me, not enough steps have been taken, because about 1.3 degree temperature rise already has taken place. Already has been taking place. 1.3 degrees temperature rise, average temperature rise. So there is no, hardly next 1 to 2 years time, 1.5 degree target will be touched. Though it is set for 2050, in 2027 or 2028 only, we will be touching that 1.5 degrees centigrade average temperature rise. So we are not really able to take enough actions to keep ourselves in line with the target. However, nations are trying to keep this in place. Let us see what kind of actions different nations will be taking in the near future and how it changes, how we will be able to contribute to Paris Agreement. Okay. Now, with this Paris Agreement, we will also have something called net zero target. So what do we mean by net zero target?
Net zero target is achieving a level where there will be the emission, GHG emission for that organization or country, which is the scope, will have no emissions, no GHG emission under scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3.
Reduction of carbon emission in the premise of any organization by means like reducing this emission of their business processes actually without taking any offsetting and all.
Okay. Yeah. So statement is right with respect to limiting emissions, Ganesh ji, but with respect to net zero, no, the statement is wrong. And Sandeep ji, the statement is wrong with respect to net zero target objective. So here, why I'm saying the statement is wrong, Sandeep ji, because there is no, I mean, it is not, it will never be a practical scenario that an organization will be having zero emissions. It will never be a practical scenario. Then what does it mean? Then why the word zero is being used? So the first objective of net zero target is to understand that how we can reduce process emissions. For example, let's say today we are emitting 100 grams, and 2 years down the line, the process emissions for the same amount of quality and quantity of production will have to go down by, let's say, 20% or 30%, which means we are improving our processes. It does not mean that we will be able to improve our process by 100% where our emissions will be zero. No, it will never be a possibility. In the value chain somewhere, there will be emissions. However, as part of this objective, we will have to reduce our emissions in the process. That is the core objective of net zero. Then, here I have made two statements. One, I'm saying that the emissions will be zero as part of net zero target. On the other hand, I'm saying that the emissions can never be zero. Then what is the meaning of net zero? Let us understand. So we have to report zero emissions. The moment we will be able to report zero emissions, not emit zero emissions, please understand that. There is a difference. If we emit zero emissions, definitely we can report zero emissions. But without emitting zero emissions also, we can report zero emissions. And that exactly is net zero concept. So what is that? So today I am emitting 100 grams of emission, and after doing a lot of R&D, lot of integrations, implementations, trial and error activities, etc., I am able to reduce my emissions by, let's say, 70% without compromising on quality and quantity of production, which is the maximum possible output. So this is something which is possible, maybe 80%, which means today for producing 100 mobile phones, I am emitting 100 grams, but tomorrow, let's say 2 years down the line, let's say in 2028, I am emitting only 20 grams of emission for manufacturing 100 mobile phones of same quality. And that is actually part of net zero target objective. Now in this example, still we are having 20 grams left. These 20 grams can be offset by purchasing credits, or by planting trees, by rejuvenating lakes, by doing other activities, by investing in green products, green manufacturings, or green energy. So offsetting. The first priority that has to be given to net zero target is to limit emissions in real time from the process, like Sandeep ji, as you mentioned. So we are able to limit our emissions maybe by 80%, maybe by 85%, but practically, at least as of today, I did not see any such case where we are able to reduce our emissions by actually beyond 70% from the core operations with the efficiency implemented, without compromising on quality and quantity. Rest of the 30% of emissions can be offset as by different activities. Like I said, rejuvenating lakes, ponds, probably planting a lot of trees, vegetation, and contributing to mangroves, whatnot. Many different activities. Maybe by purchasing what do you say, credits, right? So in this way, if we can report zero emissions, first step is to reduce emissions, and whatever is left, let us offset that. And finally, as an organization, if I am able to report zero emissions, then that means we achieved net zero target. Sandeep ji, is the statement clear now? Whatever you have said?
Absolutely, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
great.
from our end, we have to do as much as reduction possible, which is practicable. The balance will be offset.
Yes, yes.
Got it, sir.
Otherwise,
Thank you.
for practically for any organization, it is not a case where you'll be having your operations with zero emissions. No.
True, sir. True. Agree,
Yeah.
agree, sir.
Agreed?
Yes,
Yeah, great.
yes, absolutely.
One more clarification, sir.
Yes,
I think
Ganesh.
while implementing net zero targets, we are taking help of the science-based targets, SBTi.
I'll speak on that. But
Okay.
okay, I'm sorry for the interruption. Just go on with the question. I'm sorry.
That's what actually,
Yeah, that's what I can say.
what is
In
my
that case,
understanding,
let me
mostly
answer
we
this.
take a target
Yeah.
each and every year in stepwise or in gradual targets.
Right.
We are reducing. We are not taking
Right.
like immediate 90% reduction or 80%
Absolutely right.
reduction
Absolutely.
targets.
However,
Yeah,
Ganeshji, here a bit of correction with respect to your statement.
please.
Net zero target is not part of science-based target. In a way, it's not a subset. In one way, we can say that science-based targets initiative, the body which supports different organizations to achieve net zero target in a practical way.
Okay.
It is one of the bodies. With
Regulate.
SBTA also, you can achieve net zero targets.
Okay.
You know how to do it. However, if you don't know how to do it, if you follow the body's recommendations, when I said the body's SBTi, Science-Based Targets Initiative, the body's name is.
Yeah.
If you follow the recommendations and then you will be able to achieve net zero target. That is one of the mediums or one of the platforms which help you to achieve net zero target.
Okay.
In a practical way and relatively in a easy way, if you really understand the objectives of SBTi.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you, sir,
Yeah,
for
great.
clarification.
So, in which way SBTi comes in? So, probably I may have a couple of more statements on that. But otherwise, precisely SBTi is this.
Sure.
Since this has come, okay, let me complete the topic now itself, since the topic has come. So, what is SBTi? Like CDP, like TCF, I don't know how many, if you have heard of it. CDP, give me a minute, please. Sorry. Yeah. So if you have heard of CDP, Carbon Disclosure Project, did anybody hear about that Carbon Disclosure Project? Okay.
Yes,
That's
sir.
not the core objective now. Okay, I'll just give you the brief. So we have something called Carbon Disclosure Project and TCFD, Task Force on Climate Related Disclosure. Like BRSR, SASB, GRI, CDP and TCFD are the first ones. In fact, I would say CDP was the very first, in fact, is the very first one to disclose on climate related activities. GRI, SASB, BRSR, they are the kind of frameworks which help you to disclose your overall sustainability data. Whereas CDP, if I remember it right, it was introduced to us in the year 2000. So CDP is the platform which helps you to disclose your data exclusively with respect to climate change. Okay? Clear? And then after CDP, we have something called TCFD. So as part of CDP, we have forest, water as well. So that is a whole different story. Let me not go into that now. Climate change is the primary objective with respect to this context at least. Now, another body, TCFD. So TCFD precisely functions on 11 principles across 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Quadrant 1 has 2 principles, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 have 3 principles each. Okay. 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, total 11 principles. Quadrant 1 speaks about governance objectives, how a company of how the management, rather I would say the board of the company think about climate objectives or have a vision about climate objectives. And number 2 speaks about strategy. Number 3 I mean to say the quadrants. Number 3 speaks about implementation, and number 4 speaks about targets and disclosure. So these are the 11 principles which are primarily with respect to climate change exclusively, and that too based on 11 principles and 2 risk factors, physical risk and transitional risk. So this is the core context of TCFD. Let me not really go deeper on this. It will take a lot of time, right? That is more about TCFD. After that, in the year 2015, we have something called SBTI, Science Based Targets Initiative, where SBTI has taken one step ahead within climate change, which is that they directly started targeting about net zero. So as part of TCFD, CDP and TCFD, you can have targets. You can have net zero target. Not necessarily net zero target, please understand that. You can have targets, either net zero or any one target. Let's say as an organization, our target is to reduce our emissions by 50% by 2050 with respect to the base year 2025, or let's say 2015. But in either CDP or TCFD, the objective is to define a target which can be achievable. Whereas when it comes to SBTI, the target has to be net zero. Keeping the target as net zero, you have your short, medium, long-term targets. Hope you're able to understand the objective of SBTI. When it comes to SBTI, the target itself is to set a target for net zero. Science-based targets initiatives object is to set a net zero target. Let's say for 2050, 2070, 2080, 2030, 2040, whatever it is, with short, medium, long-term targets. So as an organization, if I want to if I want my targets to be approved by SBTI, then one of the targets has to be net zero. Like, let's say 2050, for which I shall be able to prove myself, when I say myself as an organization, that I am having a short-term target, I'm having a medium-term target, I'm having a long-term target, where for at least for 2 to 3 years time, I have been calculating my emissions. I'm able to do a lot of innovation, a lot of research, a lot of development, implementation, and finally, I am able to reduce my emissions by XYZ% without compromising on the quality and quantity of the production. And if we are able to prove that, and with this calculation or with these calculations, let's say from the last 5 years that we have been calculating our emissions, and now onwards for the next 2 or 3 years time, we have set short-term targets and we are able to achieve as part of process reduction emissions, not offsets. Please understand that. Primary objective, like I was mentioning, for net zero, the primary objective is process emission reduction, not offset. So if as an organization, if I'm able to prove that as part of our operations, I am able to reduce my emissions practically without compromising on quality and quantity of my production, then SBTI will audit your data 5, 6, 7 years time, whichever you have spent to get your targets approved by SBTI. Once SBTI thinks that yes, your targets are in line with science base, which means scientifically proven that the target can be achieved. Simply, I can have a target to, let's say, run for 100 kilometers a week. Is it very hard to set a target? No, right?
Yes, no.
To set this target, I just have to understand that I can have a statement spoken. Simple. But if I want you to believe in my statement, then can it be a difficult situation or easy situation? As an individual, can it be a difficult situation for me to make the statement? I'll run for 100 kilometers a week.
No.
No.
But if I want you to believe in my statement, will it be a difficult situation or not?
No.
No? How can you believe in me that I'll be able to run for 100 kilometers a week?
It can't be believed.
You can't believe me, right? But when will you believe me? If let's say for 2 or 3 weeks time, if I can show you data, day 1, 15 kilometers, day 2, 17 kilometers, day 3, 14 kilometers. So at an average, I'm running for 15 kilometers a day. What if I show you for 3 days data? And I can show you the screenshots.
Yes. Matrix evidence is required.
Absolutely. So this is evidence-based target. It's not just that because something has come to my mind, I've just spoken a statement and that's my target. No. That you can have that kind of target, but that cannot be approved by SBTi. You got clarity on SBTi?
In
For
that
your
case,
target,
baseline data is required.
of course, baseline has to be there. Without baseline, you can't really have a target.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. When you say reduction, then you cannot have a target without baseline. When you say clear-cut number, let's say by 2050, I want to have my emissions as 200 grams per year. So for this, you don't really have to have a baseline because it's an absolute target. But for net zero, since it is reduction in emissions, you have to have a baseline.
But how can we get the baseline?
So that's the strategy that we need to have. So baseline as in the year in which you actually have calculated your emissions in a very right way, which will help you to strategize your emissions. For example, this year onwards, you have started your emission calculations, and very stringently you have been calculating your emissions. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Then by fifth year, if you can see a very great progress, and if you are able to define your future targets, because you now know where am I emitting more emissions, where can I reduce my emissions, what actions that I can take, etc., etc. Now, in this 5 years time which you have spent, 1 year can be taken as a base year for your future targets, where you have to consider what kind of actions have I taken in that specific year. If these actions are going to help me in many different ways to achieve these targets. So that is something which you will understand probably once you actually learn how to do emission calculations and target setting objectives. But yes, it's not just that, okay, something has come to my mind. I like the year 2015. So let me have the 2015 as base year. No. It has to be scientifically proven or evidently done.
Okay.
Then only the targets can be achieved. Clear?
Yes.
So do you now understand what is SBTi? So SBTi is a platform that helps organizations to set their net zero targets with science-based evidences, where they have to apply apply to SBTi to get this approved by SBTi. And when will SBTi approves it? Only if once they do the audit, and only if they are happy as per the recommendations and objectives of SBTi. They have point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, XYZ. And if you are able to do that, then only they will be approving your targets as targets approved by SBTi. For which you have to have short-term, medium, long-term targets, where the initial documentation which you are submitting to SBTi have to clearly prove that your emissions are scientifically proven, scientifically reduced, and you will be able to reduce emissions by taking XYZ activities in 2027, 2030, 2045, 2050, etc., etc., etc. Clear, guys?
Sir, I have a doubt here.
Yes, please.
Yeah. See, normally this net zero talks about two things. One is you have to reduce your net zero, right? I mean, say for example, 80% or 70%, whatever it is. That's a practical thing. Remaining 20%, we have to go for an offset, right? That's what net zero. But
Yeah.
whereas this SBTA, you said that it's only a process reduction, right? So
So
in that
process
case,
reduction is the primary objective. Ultimately, that's what I'm saying. Ultimately, you have to have net zero. Okay, I got your question, Anji. That's the reason why I interpreted you. I'm sorry for that.
no issues, no issues, no issues.
So, net zero is the ultimate objective for SBTI, for which first steps have to be your process emissions, right? I said short term, medium term, and long term. So in your initial stages, you have to concentrate more on your process emissions rather than offsetting it. Ultimately, once you achieve the saturation point of reducing your emissions in the process, beyond that you cannot do anything. That's where you can start your offsetting. Okay.
Correct, but only through SBTA we cannot able to achieve net zero, right?
No, SBTA will help you in a very big way to reduce your emissions. I mean, preferably to reduce your process emissions, because they have very good standards.
So as much as practically possible, we can
As
do
much
it
as
at the
practically
max.
possible, yes. See, for the first time, I'm traveling from location A to location B. Okay, so I can go to location B if I know the route, or I can go to the location B by asking n number of people. Okay, which way to take, left, right, straight, back, U-turn, whatever. Which is relatively a difficult task, since at least about 90 to 95% of accuracy is now coming from Google Maps. I can easily go to location B by using Google Maps, right or wrong?
Correct.
So SBTA is something like Google Maps. SBTA is clearly giving you standards to limit your process emissions. In a way, we can understand that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Chintayaji.
If there is a scope for 80% to reduce from the process, so SBTA we can able to achieve that 80% to 100%, right? That's what.
Right.
Right.
So as much possibility that you can have within your operations that you can reduce. So according to that, SBTA will support you. SBTA does a lot of research every year for every industry. In fact, location wise also, and they help you what kind of process that you may have to implement or integrate. SBTA also gives you some sort of consultancy.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir,
Chintayaji?
here 2 points I need to get the clarity. One is SBTI, is it statutory body which is promoted by a nation, or is it a tool, or is it a third party agency which is engaging by the industry? That is
Okay.
one point.
So
And
if you don't mind, let us go one by one, if you don't mind.
yeah, please.
So it is a body which is formed by a private global body. If I remember it right, it is part of IFRS. If I remember it right, it is something like GRI, something like UNGC. UNGC is not a statutory body. It is a body. It is a compact that is formed with different nations, right? In a very similar way, SBTI is also a body where they are saying that we are a body which does a lot of research, which will help you to reduce your emissions in a practical way. And I started believing in that. You started believing in that. And about, let's say, 20% of the people have started believing in that. So that has become a platform that is to be believed by many people.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not a statutory body that has come from a specific government or something. It is a private body, like an NGO, which is doing a very great job, which is trusted by I think about more than 4,000 organizations as of today, which got their SBT targets approved. More than 5,000 or 7,000, I think 7,000 as of today, companies have applied for it, I think. Or maybe more than that. Maybe more than that.
10,000, sir. More than
10,000? Okay. I don't really remember, but at least 4,000 plus organizations have got their SBT targets approved. right?
So
So this is,
universally, this is approved, right?
yeah, universally this is accepted. Approved is a different
Accepted.
statement. It is
Okay.
accepted.
Accepted. Yeah.
Yeah, because to get it approved, who is approving it? A nation or an individual? That is not something which we can probably say, because that's not the right word to use.
Correct.
Rather, we can say accepted. A lot of
Yes.
people are accepting it. Hence, we are going with it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. And the second point is
please.
that this baseline survey or baseline data collection or net zero target collection on every year, is it done by internal team of the company, or some other third party agency will do and submit it to the report to certain authorities?
However, the organization wishes to. If organization can hire 3-4 different individuals and can handle them, trusting them that these 4 individuals are through 2 individuals, or even 1 individual can do the job for them in line with local global objectives, then you can have an internal team and get this done. If you don't know, and if you do not have the courage, or if you do not know how to handle the team, then come to consultants like us. We calculate for you and we share it with you. Now, with whom it shall be shared, as such, there is no legally compulsory body. However, if let's say your company to whom you are serving, for example, you are a product manufacturing company and you are selling your product to 5 other companies which are relatively bigger than you. Let's say MNCs. And if MNC is asking for your data, you share it with them. If government is asking for your data, you share it with them. If you are a responsible organization, you want to prove that you are a sustainable organization, you are a climate friendly, to be precise with respect to this context, you are a climate friendly organization, you publish it on your website. Uma Shankar ji, you have been doing a lot of things on the screen. Don't do that, please. Yeah, I hope your question is answered.
Yes, got it, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, great. So ETS, emission trading system, which is a platform started, I think, in the year 2005, if I remember it right, in the European market, European region. ETS is first adopted by European market, where they have set some targets to different organizations. That, rather, I would say organizations segmented under sectors or industries. First, they have segmented industries, and as part of industries, they also picked some big organizations. There are some benchmarks which I don't remember. So for them, they are saying that you shall not emit more than this amount of emission. It is as simple as carbon trading in a very simple language. Now, they are giving some credits to you. I think in their language, they call it as allowance. In ETS, in European market, they call it as allowance. They give you some allowances. So they expect that you will be emitting your emissions equivalent to the amount of allowances given to you by European Union. If you are emitting allowances more than that, then you will be fined. If you are emitting lesser emission, which if you are emitting amount of emission which is lesser than that allowance, then this lesser amount of allowance can be sold to somebody who is emitting more emission as per the allowances given to them. So 100 allowances are given to me. I have emitted emission equivalent to 102 allowances. On the other hand, you are given, let's say, 80 allowances as per your industry and company size, but you have emitted only amount of emission which is equivalent to 75 allowances only. Now you can sell these allowances to somebody else. Who that somebody else can be? Because I emitted more two allowances more equivalent emission. So since I'll be fined by European market, European Union, I start buying it from you. Through whom I can buy? Through ETS, emission trading system. So you will be selling it to ETS and ETS will sell it to me. In this process, ETS will keep some amount of margin. For example, I am buying it for, let's say, 500 rupees. ETS may be keeping, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5%, whatever it is. And the balance amount will be transferred to company. which has emitted 78. You got the point? What is ETS?
Yes.
This is as simple as the carbon trading system.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Can I ask?
Yes, go on.
Sir, this 1.5 to 2 degree reduction of global temperature, has it been by all, it has been agreed by all nations. That is what we know. Okay.
Yes.
Now, is it agreed or approved through FBTI?
That is different. SBTI is a body which helps a nation or which helps a company to reduce their emissions if the nation or the company wants it to be approved by SBTI. As a nation, if I want my target to be approved by SBTI, I can go and apply to SBTI. All these nations, they may want to get this approved by SBTI.
I mean,
they may not.
international. Hello.
Yes, sir. I'm listening.
Hello.
Go on, sir.
Sir, the 1.5 to 2 degree reduction in global temperature, that has been agreed upon by all the nations. So
absolutely right.
Like there must be some body. Is there an internationally recognized single body?
For what, sir?
UNFCCC, no, sir.
For what, sir? Single body for what?
For reducing the emission, and consequently, I mean, we are talking about carbon credits or carbon emission accounting, but reduction process, is it all a part of the body or no, it is totally separate?
Sir, I'm not able to understand your question in the first place, sir. I'm so sorry to say.
Okay, I'll take it separately. Let's
okay,
move.
Okay, done, sir. Done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sir, can you explain this
Yeah.
emission trading system again? I've got 2 points which I have cleared, but I'm not able to clear it.
So in a
This
very
is-
simple language, in European market, European Union is the body which has segmented all the organizations into different industries. So cement industry, manufacturing, I mean, let's say apparel industry, something like that, different industries. And within those industries, they pick some sort of companies which are relatively having higher impact. I mean to say, generating more revenue, more emission, probably.
Right.
Now, they have set targets saying that beyond this limit, you cannot achieve, emit emissions. So what is that limit? They are giving allowances. So one allowance is equivalent to, let's say, 100 grams. I don't really remember how much is equivalent to one allowance. I think it's 1,000 metric tons, if I remember it right. You can probably Google it. One allowance is equivalent to how much emission by ETS. You can probably Google it. You will find it. As I remember, it is equivalent to 1,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent.
Like a share.
Like a share.
One share is equal.
Okay.
Sir.
Now, depending on your size, depending on your industry, depending on your location, you will set a target for you. So they'll say, okay, 100 allowances is your maximum limit. Beyond that, you cannot emit. And for some other company, let's say they set 80 allowances. Some other company, they set 150 allowances. Some other company, they set, let's say, 50 allowances.
Okay.
The company for which it is set as 50, the company actually has emitted emission equivalent to 52 allowances, which means 2,000 tons extra, assuming that one allowance is equivalent to 1,000 tons.
Okay, then fine.
Right. Then company has to pay fine to ETS. European Union. To save on fine, to avoid fine, what they can do, they can try to see if there is any company which has emitted, which has got 2 credits in terms of allowance. What does it mean? For me, the target is 150, but I have emitted only amount of emission which is equivalent to 148, and I'm also ready to sell my allowances.
Okay, got it.
Now, I can buy these allowances from you, okay, and I can say that my allowances are within 50 only. Now, I don't have to pay fine.
Okay.
Now, how can I sell and how can you buy, or how can you sell and how can I buy? Through a system called ETS, emissions trading system, where ETS will keep some money from this entire transaction, and the rest of the money will be given to the one who is selling it.
Okay.
commission kind of thing. Okay.
Got it. Got it.
Right. Now the
So
last
one more
one is,
question with respect to SPT. Sorry.
Sir.
go on.
So with respect, it is basically, say for example, whatever the emissions are there from my company, I have to set a target and I have to show the plan, right? These are all the way 1, 2, 3, 4. I am going to reduce my emission target by so on implementing some scientific thing, right? That's a plan that we have to submit to SBTi. They will approve it, correct?
Right, sir. Right, sir.
Okay.
They will approve it
So
only
now
if that
SBTi
is in
will
line with
check.
SBTi's objectives, as well in their audit, if they find that it can be approved. It's not just that.
Got it. That's
simply-
anyway,
yeah,
they're going
yeah.
to review the plan.
Of course. Yeah, in that case, yes.
They're going to review
of
the
course.
plan and they will approve it.
Absolutely, sir.
Right. Now, how they will check that whether I really implemented, whether the result has been yield or not.
Yeah,
So that
they have
part,
their
whether
systems,
SBTi
sir. They
will
have their
take.
systems, they have their auditing mechanisms. I don't really know what kind of methods they have been following, but they have their systems. They have a SOP, standard operating procedure kind of documentation, which they'll be using to review your targets set, whether they are in line with SBTi's objectives or not.
Like ISO audits.
To an extent, we can say, sir. Kind of.
Sir, one small question, sir.
Yes.
Sir, whether we can see the live trading system like NSE, BSE for ETS?
You can Google it. You can probably see, but I don't know if you have to be part of that by becoming a member. But you can definitely see. You can, if as an individual, if you want to buy some credits, there are some trading systems across globe, not just ETS.
Any website or anything you can recommend?
To be really honest with you, I am not really sure which is authentic, because there are many new companies have come in which are actually trading this. So how many of them are actually genuine? How many of them are actually fraud? I don't know. So I can't really make a statement, even if they are fraud. I don't even know. So I can't say if they are genuine or fraud. So unless I know that somebody is fraud, I cannot say that the person is fraud, right? I don't know. But you can definitely check with UNFCCC.
We will search.
Because the credit has to be generated from UNFCCC. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And the last one is CBAM. CBAM, the data has already been shared with you as a document with all of you. However, it is a platform which again is coming from European market, where they are making it mandatory for all imports from different nations, where they are asking all the manufacturers to calculate their product carbon footprint, the emission of each product, and they want a reduction in emissions every year. If the emissions are beyond a set limit by CBAM, then the seller has to pay tax to European market. For example, in India, I'm manufacturing shoes and I want to export it to European market, where European market is importing it. Let's say a company ABC is importing it from India, and usually ABC imports it only if I'm able to give them product quality, on-time delivery, etc., etc., etc. But now I also have to provide PCF, product carbon footprint documentation, along with the products that I'm going to sell to European market, the ABC company which is in European market. If my emissions are beyond the limit set by CBAM, then I have to start paying tax on it, which means European market will start collecting tax from me because I'm polluting more. For which, as an Indian organization, or any for that matter, as an organization which is outside European market, I have to reduce emissions to save on taxes. Emissions, so that I can be able to provide a document or a certificate or a piece of paper, some sort of information which clearly tells the European market that the product emission, the emission of a specific product, starting from manufacturing till starting from what do you say,
raw material.
Material resourcing to manufacturing. So this is the emission.
Sir, I have a question.
Sir, here the industries.
Sorry, Sandeep ji.
Can I ask? Yeah. Sir, I wanted to ask, if we want to supply the product in the European market, and in European market they are asking product carbon footprints.
Yes.
Do we will it be like organic certification where they also prescribe which agency to be used for it? Because then I would think that they will only subscribe the European agencies, and whether Indian agencies will be able to actually do carbon auditing, or is there a platform which when
Not
people
like
see
that. Not like
that
that.
they have a verified
There is
accountant?
something called LCA, life cycle assessment, and through which you can actually calculate, actually be able to calculate PCF, product carbon footprint. There is a methodology called life cycle assessment. So there are some global bodies like CIMAPRO, Gabi, some free bodies also like OpenLCA. There are three bodies. So these are the databases to do emission calculations. Product carbon footprint calculations. There's a procedure, and through that procedure only you have to do it. LCA assessment. Through LCA assessment, actually in LCA there are different sectors. When it comes to PCF, there are some prescribed objectives which we'll have to read through from CBAM documentation.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if there are any further questions, we will take it in some time. So we are kind of done with today's session, though we are on this very first slide since the beginning, but we have covered many of the objectives. So if you look at this,
Sir, in CBAM, there are some specific industries like 4, 6, and 7 industries for India, which is applicable for CBAM.
There is some documentation to it.
Fertilizer.
Of course. As of now, it is very limited, but as per the announcement, I think by 2029, it will be very vast. 2028. I mean, I don't really remember the years and all the targets, but yes, CBAM's first announcement was with respect to 2029, but they have amended their announcement. I don't know what is the change target.
Just a small research I have done where they had mentioned like which are the core industries for which initially they will enforce this regulation, and that is 6 core industries.
Right. There are some limitations as of today, but going forward, it will be increased to many manufacturing industries.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
sir, my small question actually.
Yes, please.
We just discussed ETS. So, is it similar like in India CCTS?
CCTS, right? Yes, I think
Carbon
yes.
credit
Trading system. Of course. Trading system. ETS for European market and
government of India
CCTS for
recently.
India. We have not yet started it, but we are going to implement it. The process, I mean, the steps have already been taken.
The draft is released.
Yes,
last
the draft
year
is
the
released.
government of India
It is supported with NITI Aayog 6 principles as well, out of which one is primarily with respect to climate change. There are many things that are happening.
Yeah, and
many things are happening.
9 major industries, including coal mining
right.
fertilizers.
It was announced in the year 2023. Am I right?
Okay. Yeah, draft was ready.
Yeah.
2023.
Okay. So with respect to the Paris
Sir, I
Agreement,
have a question.
Yes, go on.
Sorry.
Go on, Vijayji. Let's have this last question, and then let's complete the session. And at the end of the day, we will take further questions. Go on, Vijayji. Since you have started.
Okay, sir. Then we'll have a Q&A session later. Maybe we can continue.
So let's complete the session now. So limiting global warming. So that is one of the objectives which we all know. Net zero emissions. So definitely, if most of the companies start aiming for net zero and start achieving that, then only we will be able to achieve Paris Agreement. That is very much clear. NDC, nationally determined contributions. What is this NDC? NDC is something which helps organizations or nations or societies or groups to achieve emission reduction, to achieve some targets, to set some targets and to achieve. And if you look at India, so here we have the statement which is written, that is the immediate NDC for India, 45% by 2030 with respect to 2005 levels. Okay. And one of the other aspects of NDC is, I think, it's 40% renewable energy generation by 2045, if I remember it right. By 2045, India wants to achieve at least 40% renewable energy generation. Some sort of targets are there for NDCs. You just Google it, you'll find all of them. Okay. And one important factor with respect to Paris Agreement is climate finance, where developed countries have to contribute about $100 billion to developing countries to create that harmonious system where developing countries will be able to spend that money to do, research and take projects to reduce emission within their nations. Since I'm a developed country, since you are a developing country, since you are a developed country, since I'm a developing country, I'm supporting you, you are supporting me. You get that? But how much of this is actually happening? I'm really sorry to say, I don't have any statistics for that.
How much amount, sir, you mentioned?
100 billion. It's already there on the slide. $100 billion per year. Okay. Now, net zero targets, their significance, we already have seen this. We discussed it a lot. So net zero will help us to track emissions, set targets, and then track progress, avoid greenwashing. So if you really go with,
could we see the previous screen again?
Definitely.
The previous screen. Okay. Thank you. Just want to let you know there was a typo in the first slide. There were the previous text from the second session.
This slide?
No, the previous one, sir.
Okay.
The one we were on throughout the session, sir.
Okay.
This one, the Paris Agreement, the net zero and the CBAM have no.
What is it?
Like the net zero talks about, sir, the organizational boundary, and CBAM talks about the types of equity share and control approach, sir.
I'm sorry. I think this is something which I have not updated. I'm so sorry. I'll thank you so much for this.
No worries, sir.
I'll
just want to let you know.
Thanks very much. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Okay. I'll just change that after this session. Thanks very much for the support. Yeah. Now, net zero target, we already know. Greenwashing, it's primarily with respect to environmental objectives only. Generally, at times, greenwashing is something which was used, in fact, which is used in different other occasions as well. However, greenwashing, the word green is meant for environmental objectives in general. As of today, the practice is such where me as an organization shall be giving you accurate information by not fooling you. For example, there was a time in 2017, if I remember it right, 2017 or 18, if I remember it right. This company, Volkswagen, I don't know how many of you know it. They said that our car, we have manufactured a car which is giving you more mileage, which means lesser emission. Obviously, right? Now, the cars have undergone a lot of tests, and it is really proved that yes, the cars are really emitting very less emission. Now, two students have conducted a study on it, and they found that Volkswagen have used a component in that entire process where the meters will only be showing readings up to a level. Beyond that, the meters will not be showing. Though they're emitting actually more emission. They're actually emitting more emission. However, since they have used a small component, because of that component, the machines are compromised. You get the point? And the machines showed very less amount of emission. And because they are environmental friendly vehicles, the sales were tremendous, very high. Once this study was conducted, once it is found that Volkswagen did cheat all the customers who bought this and did make a mistake, and since it is proved in the court, in the law of court, which is in US, the fine was in billions of dollars, I think trillions of dollars, and they lost a lot of market share across globe. So, getting this kind of genuine targets will avoid greenwashing. Policy and investor pressure, we all understand. So you can have policy pressures, investor pressures from governments, from clients, from investors. So you can actually keep yourself away from all these headaches. And measurement for action. So we already have discussed a lot on this. Now, like I was mentioning, net zero target, if you looked at it, like I was mentioning, more than 4,000 organizations have already got their targets approved by SBTi, and more than 5,000 targets have actually set their targets for SBTi. And this is the old data. But if you looked at, if you would be looking at recent data, it is somewhere near 7,000 or 8,000, if I remember it right. Okay. So this is just for your information. And moving forward, this is ETS relatively in detail, which we already have discussed. And this is CBAM. Probably on that slide, I have made a mistake, but here, yeah, I think we are giving you the right information. Okay. Which we also have discussed. And these are the kind of different roles that we can actually take with this career. You pick any role from this in line with emissions. You pick any role without knowing how to calculate emissions. You and me, I mean, anybody for that matter, you can be zero. You will be zero. I will be zero. When I say you, don't assume that I'm really pointing you as you. In general, I'm saying without knowing emissions, how to calculate emissions, you will be zero for any kind of this position. I'll be zero for any kind of this position if I don't know how to calculate emissions. These many opportunities are there. And for little more, we will be learning on Sunday. So this is it for today. This is the core objective that we wanted to discuss. And on Sunday, we will be learning about scope 1 to 3 emission segmentation and these 3 objectives. Transforming your career to career from a novice to beginner with these objectives with respect to GHG emissions. And we will understand how you can do a consultancy business, right? And finally, how can we actually become a job provider rather than a job seeker? Which means we have to become experts in calculating emissions, followed by a course which we actually have developed for all of your understanding. So the announcement will be made on Sunday. There will be a very detailed course which we developed, which we have been doing it, which will be announced, which will be shared on Sunday. After discussing about scope 1, 2, 3 and other technical objectives, we will introduce to a course that we have developed. Those who have those who are interested in that course can purchase that, can buy that. Okay. On Sunday, we will be making that announcement. What is the price? What all we will be covering? What all you will be getting from that course, etc., etc. Everything else will be discussed. And there you will actually be seeing a lot of discussions that we have been having till today from the last 3 sessions will be addressed. And you actually will become a carbon accounting consultant after that course. After taking that course. That does not mean that you just bought the course and you become a consultant. No, you actually have to go through the course. That's what I meant to say. You actually have to learn through the course. Okay, that will be the sessions for Sunday.
Online course, sir?
Online, self-paced.
Okay.
And if most of you would be wanting a live one, then probably we will try to see if we can conduct a live session if at least there are 10 maybe 15 members. Otherwise, it will be self-paced one. If at least 15 members are there, then definitely we'll be happy to conduct live sessions, online live. Of course, online live. That's absolutely at your discretion. But online live, then probably the prices will be different. Of course, not probably, definitely the prices will be different. But yes, we will have this discussion on Sunday, depending on the number of individuals who are wanting this live session. Okay.
What is the time of Sunday classes?
It is 10:30 to 12:30, sir. 10:30 a.m. Okay.
Sir, I have one question about
please go.
About this end of the product. So we are as an industry, they are producing one product.
Okay.
That product can be circulated into the nation, or it will be circulated into the foreign itself.
Okay.
So the process or production, how much emissions we are releasing, that is we are calculating.
Right.
After releasing the product to the market, end of the day, it can be it become a waste. after getting all the services from the product, then it could be a waste. That time the emissions also will be there. Then that emissions, who will calculate it and who will the accountable?
Okay. So there is a concept called LCA. In that, I already have discussed about this in the first class. I think I don't remember, but I'm sure we have discussed on this. There is a concept called LCA, life cycle assessment, in which we have got 4 segments. I'm sure I have discussed on this. Okay, cradle to grave, which means starting from resource, mining.
Raw material.
Raw material mining, starting from mining, procurement, till disposal of the product. This is called as cradle to grave calculation in LCA. So in this case, starting from procurement till disposal, every part, everywhere we will be calculating emission. Second, cradle to gate, from where we are procuring, from that stage to gate. For example, I am a manufacturing company and I am buying these raw materials from you. From that procurement stage to my gate. This is called as cradle to gate. This is one level. Then gate to gate, in gate of my company and out gate of my company, in this premises, in the actual operations. That is second level. How much emission are we emitting? Then gate to grave, once the product is out from my premises till disposal. So in this process, cradle to grave, this is one sector. The other one is this one. Other one is cradle to gate, gate to gate, gate to grave. These are the 4 sections. So these 4 sections are ideally these areas where we need to calculate emissions. And once we calculate emissions, then only we will be able to see who is accountable, which organization is accountable, depending on the process. Okay. Generally, the one who manufactures the product will have to take the accountability in general, I'm saying. But only if we conduct the assessment for all these stages, then only we'll be able to define who will have to take the ultimate responsibility of it. Okay, that's a different story together. And if somebody is really wanting to learn LCA, then we also have a course on that. If somebody is interested, then probably you can let us know.
So it's like the extended producer responsibility?
That is in line with LCA objectives only, JTG, EPR. So once we go with LCA,
the same question,
EPR,
the responsibility for the waste and collection and the disposal lies with the manufacturer. So
generally the manufacturer who sells the product, the one which I'm using, doesn't matter. Somebody else is procuring raw materials for this, somebody else is doing the transportation for this, or somebody else is doing the packaging for this. That is something secondary. But generally the one, for example, I'm buying a Samsung phone. Samsung is generally the primary body which has to take the responsibility of this disposal activity, generally. But with procedure only we'll be able to actually define. Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, Vijayji.
So since you touched upon this LCA, so do we have any set of guideline protocol or something like that, procedure, something
yes,
like
for LCA,
that?
there are a lot of set of rules and regulations, sir. Like I was mentioning, there are very few companies which have got the databases for this. One is SEMAPro, one is Gabi, and we have some
EcoInvent.
Something starts with S.
EcoInvent is also there.
Oh, EcoInvent, of course. Something starts with SS. I'm not able to recall the name. That is one thing. And we also have something called OpenLCA, which is for free. But the database is not really the ultimate data.
Okay, but these are all the tools, right?
Tools. But how to use these tools, for that, LCA has a process. There are systems.
Okay. So say, for example, if you have if you have to calculate the emission, we have to go for this GHG protocol, right?
Right.
A set of guidelines,
as per my
something like that.
Like
some documentation is there for.
I'll have to check with one of the experts in my team, but as per my understanding, I don't see any such regulated body which takes the ultimate responsibility like GHG protocol, something like. I mean, with respect to the example, I don't know any such global body. I don't know, at least. But I can check with my team probably.
Okay, right.
Like, see,
So
I'm
as
able
far
to
as we
speak.
the
I'm
LCA,
able to
we were
speak
talking
on these
only about the
topics because
tools.
I've been into this. Does not mean that I'm expert in all the contexts. I'm primarily focused towards few areas only. I'm not an expert in every area,
Right.
and practically that's not possible for one single individual to be an expert in these many areas. Practically not possible. I'm being very honest with you. I'm not more into LCA.
Okay.
I know how does it work. Probably I can also teach you to an extent. To an extent, I'm saying, but I'm not an expert in LCA. For that, Ms. Viksha is there, who is in our team. She takes care of that.
Maybe Sunday class, if you talk about this,
I am not really sure, sir. I cannot promise you because she's on leave this week and next week also. She got married recently, so I'm not really sure if I'll be able to get back to you on this. I'll try, but
No, you
I cannot
said that
promise
if
you.
you are really interested in learning this LCA, then we also providing the course, right? Maybe
Yeah.
you can slightly touch up on that. Probably if you give
Probably on
some
one-on-one we will
overheads
take,
on
sir.
that.
Once I get to know more
Yeah,
about this.
fine.
Yeah,
Then
one-on-one
fine.
we will take. Yeah,
Fine.
done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll check with her, and if possible, I'll try to arrange a call with her as well. Meanwhile,
Please,
if
sir,
by
please.
chance she is available, I'll try to arrange a call with her. You
No
probably
issues,
can
no issues.
drop in your message personally to at 824-7722-482. So asking for LCA, then I'll share the information with her. Once she's available, she get back to you.
Fine, sir.
Yeah,
Absolutely fine.
she gets back to you. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Perfect. Cool. Okay. So see you on Sunday. If you have no questions so far, today's session is not really a complicated one like last session. I'm sure because it's about more about the rules and regulations kind of thing. However, on Sunday we will be touching on what actually Scope 1, Scope 2, Scope 3 mean, and what is a way that we probably can become ESG, accounting consultants, and what kind of opportunity do we have. That's something which we will be discussing on Sunday, and we will also be announcing about the course that we have designed for professionals like you who would want to become JG professionals, right? Cool.
So the calculation will be also taught, sir.
On Sunday, no. But during the course, yes, that's the primary objective in the course. How to actually calculate emissions of an organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be part of course, not on Sunday. Sunday we'll be discussing about what is Scope 1, 2, 3 and what is a way, how the process is something we will touch.
Okay.
Kind of, I would say probably the steps, 3, 4, 5 steps, whatever are to be taken in the process of calculating emissions, that we will introduce you to.
Maybe overview you're talking about.
Kind of overview, yes. Right? Anything else,
Sir,
guys?
will you be taking the Sunday's class or anyone
Yeah, I'll
else?
be taking.
So you're telling about the other course. So that is how long is that course? The main
LCA
course.
is different, sir. LCA is different. So if LCA is something which Viksha takes, so that will be for about 8 hours to give you enough understanding about LCA and process. What is OpenLCA and all. I think about 6 hours or 8 hours. And coming to this course, this course we will discuss in detail.
Okay, on Sunday.
JG protocol, JG accounting course, we will discuss in detail on Sunday. What all we will be covering, how many sessions are there, what topics will we be covering, what will be the price and all we will be discussing on Sunday. All details. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, any courses is going to be taken for the farmers, carbon credits?
As of now, no, sir. At least we are not doing anything. Because that is something which will have to come, which has to be designed with a lot of study from the agriculture sector. Because when it comes to agriculture, there are a lot of factors that we need to consider. Especially starting from the quality of soil. So carbon credit is a very vast and very big topic, sir. We are trying to develop a course on carbon credit, of course. We will be developing it very soon. But exclusive to a sector, that is something which is very difficult. Not really we are envisioning that, but yes, in general, how to get a credit defined, yes, that is something which we are developing. How can we do it in a practical way? That's where we are envisioning. That's where we are brainstorming. So once we find a way out, that if we are very sure that if somebody buys our product, the course, the person will be able to generate a credit. Unless we are sure on by ourselves, we will not be bringing it to the market, because we don't want to fool people, to be very honest. So we have to be very sure on it. So till then, we'll be doing our own research how to get this done.
Here I heard that there are some voluntary buyers who buys the carbon credits from the farmers. Is it true?
Voluntary buyers, as in, sir?
Voluntary buyers from the industry sector, manufacturing industry sector.
I mean, when you say voluntary, as in, what do you mean by voluntary, sir?
Voluntary is, means without binding to the any regulations or
in that way. Yes. There are many. As an individual, you also can buy a credit. You also can buy a credit, and you can keep it with you.
Right.
And when you see, when you think
who is going to sell?
There are, like I was mentioning, there are trading systems across globe. You can Google it. I want to buy carbon credits. Where can I buy? You will get to know some companies which help you to buy. See, there are companies which help you to take to a trading system. They themselves will not be having a trading system. There are very few trading systems across globe. Please understand this.
Yeah.
Very few. But there are many companies who have tie-ups with these few trading systems, and they keep their margin. For example, if I want to sell a credit, and for example, you are a customer, and I'll tell you that, okay, since you want to buy carbon credits, okay, you come to me, I'll sell credits to you. What I'll do, I'll buy it from the actual trading system. I'll not be having a trading system, and I'll buy it on behalf of you. I'll keep some margin. You get the point, sir?
Yeah.
Actual trading systems are very less in nature, but there are many companies which have come already.
So, for example, if I am a farmer, I'm having 100-acre solar power plant. So, for example, you are running an factory or an industry. So this intermediate buyers will act as they will buy the carbon credit from my end, and then they will sell it to you on some commission basis, right?
They can do that. I mean, in fact, they are actually doing it, kind of. But unfortunately, a lot of people are actually getting into this business, assuming that there is a lot of profit in carbon credits and all. We will be able to do it. The statement, there is profit, is absolutely right, but it does not come easy. You have to understand the actual scenario of it. Unless you find the actual scenario, I mean, you understand the nitty-gritties of it, you'll fail. And small products are not viable projects.
Got it.
Cool.
Can we conclude, sir?
Yeah, definitely. So see you on Sunday at 10:30 in the morning.
Same questions are coming in different form.
Absolutely.
So let's not elaborate further on that.
Right.
With due apologies to everybody.
Yeah, let us conclude and see you on Sunday at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed today's session also.
Thank you so much.
Hope I am able to answer your questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great. Pleasure. See you all on Sunday. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.